Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Let's talk about Nintendo's quality of life. Now, we've known about Nintendo's quality of life initiative, as it's been referred to for a very long time, for what feels like, I don't know, maybe 2 years or so, a year or 2 years since they first talked about it. Some sort of weird, mysterious plan that Nintendo's had going forward to create some sort of product or business model around the idea of improving people's quality of life. Very strange coming from a company that is notoriously a video game company. So ever since this news was first revealed, none of us really knew how to take it or what to think about the idea or where Nintendo was planning on taking it. They really didn't discuss it further, and they really haven't since. Now, today, a weird piece of news came out where a patent that Nintendo has filed for a sleep monitor device has come to light, and I guess it should be noted that sometime in the last 6 or 7 months, I think, I do remember Nintendo and the late, great Satoru Iwata did mention something about a sleep monitor device. Really the only thing that they've discussed in relation to this idea of a quality of life program or platform or whatever it's supposed to be. Again, they didn't go into any other further details. As far as I can remember, they really just used that term sleep monitor device. It's a thing that's happening, and we'll discuss more later, as Nintendo likes to do. So, today, some information about this patent for the sleep monitor device has come out. Not a whole lot of information. It is meant to... The patent provides an early look at the device, which appears to be about the size of an alarm clock. Comes equipped with a docking station, which would be used for something like a phone or a tablet, speakers, and a ceiling projector. Let's see. According to the patent's description, the information processing system comprises a portable terminal. That's a weird sentence, but anyway, which detects sensor information for assessing a user's emotions. It assesses the user's emotions on the basis of the sensor information, and we don't really know too much more than that. That's like a small amount of information that's come out. So, because of this, I wanted to discuss further my feelings on Nintendo's quality of life initiative and what I really think it's supposed to be. I've had feelings on this idea for a while. I've touched on them here and there in some videos, never really gone into detail, mostly because it hasn't been relevant information pretty much since Nintendo barely spoke a word of it, oh so long ago, and then it just kind of disappeared. This information coming out, the idea of a sleep monitoring system, and the whole concept of a quality of life platform has become more relevant today because of this patent information. This isn't like a rumor. This patent is a patent filed. And, the way patents work, I think that people need to remember, because people are starting to get all sorts of, everyone's getting sort of in a tizzy about what they think of this idea, and of course, being very vocal about the concept of the quality of life and the sleep monitor device and all that stuff. So I just want to remind people, when it comes to a patent doesn't mean that this is the thing that they're making, that we are going to make. Here's our patent, and it's 100% this thing. Really, a patent is just locking down a concept or an idea that a company now owns. So however a bunch of ideas are meant to come together into one unit, that's what Nintendo owns. But what the unit will actually do, what it will be called, how it'll work, what its purpose and function is, really none of that stuff is decided. This isn't like... This isn't an announcement. Basically, a patent isn't an announcement. I think that's the way I'm trying to phrase this. And I understand why a lot of people, especially like in the gaming space who follow this news, maybe don't really understand that. I mean, I remember, for anyone who wants to think way back to, I think it was before the Wii. It might have been soon after the Wii was announced, but I'm pretty sure this was before the Wii. There was a patent that Nintendo had for a product called Nintendo 21. If anyone out there remembers that, high five to you. It was a Nintendo 21, and there were all these weird diagrams and drawings of like people's head and face facing in certain directions in relation to a television, and this weird motion thing, and it was all these little drawings, these crude drawings, just like this one of today's patent device. And if I remember right, it was before the Wii, because that thing didn't make any sense and no one knew what it was leading towards. And then they announced the Wii, and we understood with that controller kind of what was going on and how it was like, the gamer moves in relation to the game on screen. And based on the patent and the description in those diagrams, that didn't make any sense to anybody. But it turned out to make a lot of sense when we actually saw what the Wii was and we got the controller in our hand. And if it was after the Wii, then that means it was something that really turned into the Wii U, which of course still became a motion-related thing for the TV. So I hate not remembering which console that launched ahead of, But regardless, because both systems use different levels of motion and interaction with the console and the TV, it basically goes to still prove my point of an early idea of a patent, and these crude diagrams don't really give us the full, complete picture of what their ultimate product or business model or console is supposed to be. Same thing I think here. Now, I'm getting too long in the tooth on the theory. I want to get into what I actually think is happening with this quality of life, regardless of what the sleep monitor system and all this stuff is supposed to be. So, people are worried about Nintendo's not making games, they're making a sleep device. They're working on quality of life, they're not being a game company. They're spending R&D, research and development dollars, maybe in the wrong space when they should be making games and this and that, and what a waste of time and money and energy. And I see why people say that, and I see why the knee-jerk reaction to this could be like, oh my god, what's Nintendo doing? This doesn't make any sense. And my theory on the quality of life is that it's just not meant to appeal to gamers at all. A lot of people's reactions, not everybody's, but a lot of people's reactions, I think, are a knee-jerk reaction to the concept of, why is Nintendo trying to sell me a sleep monitor device? Or why is Nintendo worried about improving my quality of life? I just want the next Mario game and the next Metroid game and the next Zelda. And really, I think that the quality of life, and I've thought this for a very long time, and I don't know this is just my own theory, but I feel pretty good about this theory. I think that what's happening is they're setting themselves up to have a different focus other than just gaming. I don't think they're trying to sell necessarily you or me or our best friends or our fellow gamers and the other people on YouTube making videos, for example, a sleep monitor device. That's not meant for gamers. I think Nintendo is trying to create a brand for themselves where they're more than just a game company. Maybe they have this other business model that's meant to generate a different kind of revenue. And of course, all revenue for a gaming company can still funnel itself back into gaming. This is building along the idea of them working with DNA and working on the mobile side of things. This is building on the idea of them joining with Universal and making theme park attractions. Building on the idea of rumors that still haven't panned out yet of whether or not they're working in some partnership with Disney. All of these things, Universal, mobile, DNA, quality of life, they're just amiibo, by the way, which are just toys. All of these different things are different avenues for revenue streams. I think that that's what they're doing and what they've been working on these past couple of years, leading to today and probably even moving into the NX, and why we've had all these crazy, wacky rumors about the NX the last couple of weeks, you know? And I think that it's just Nintendo, to be fair, I think being very smart and being very, very business savvy. I do think that this is a reaction to the Wii U, unfortunately, not being the huge success that Nintendo would have liked, that I would have liked, that hopefully a lot of you would also have liked. You know, the Wii U, as great of a machine as it is, and it really is an awesome machine. Not perfect, but very awesome. It's not a huge hit. So, you know, Nintendo, I think, has had to recoup some lost revenue, and they just recently became profitable again. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I just got back from work. So they just became profitable again, but they're not knocking it out of the park. Their home console isn't a hit. They're staying afloat barely with the home console, and they're really only doing well with their portable device, with the 3DS, and which is also an amazing machine. So I think that they're trying to work around the fact that they haven't been super profitable this console generation, and so they've been branching themselves out. They're working with the movies and letting characters be used in different films in different ways. They make money from that. People forget about that. You know, having Bowser in Wreck-It Ralph and having Donkey Kong in Pixels, the new movie that just came out, which apparently is terrible, but whatever, you know. Things like that. And then, of course, the rumors of them working with Sony to make a Mario movie. Those things they get money from. When they make amiibos, they get money. When they start making games specific for cell phones and mobile, aside from their console stuff, they're making extra money there. When they make a quality of life thing, when they start making things like maybe like what's that damn, a Fitbit, you know, if they make their equivalent of a Fitbit and a sleep monitor device, and I don't know, headphones that help you sleep, or whatever kind of weird things they may do with this quality of life, they're making extra money there. And I feel like, in the same way that, you know, Sony can be an electronics company that also makes a PlayStation, and Microsoft can make, you know, like business-related software and tablets, but also make an Xbox. I think it's pretty cool. In the same way a company like Konami, until recently, can make, you know, pachinko machines like they're known for, and having like grocery stores or whatever, some food-related thing in Japan, but also be a software developer for gaming. I think Nintendo can be can make health-related and life improvement products and also still make video game consoles and make a Wii and a Wii U and an NX and a 3DS and all these things. You know, I feel like it's not really that crazy of an idea when you actually stop and take a step back and consider the full picture and look at what a lot of other companies are doing. You know, Sony and Microsoft are more than just a gaming division, and I think Nintendo might be slowly planting the seeds to do the same thing. And at first that may seem maybe a little bit scary or uncomfortable, you know, and I share some of that. It's like, I love the Nintendo that we have now. I like the gaming company Nintendo that is only surviving on being a gaming company and is focusing all their efforts specifically on gaming because I think they make the best games, the best software because of it. And so I can see why at first it might be like, well, if that's true, then that sucks. I just want Nintendo to be a gaming company. But it's kind of not really fair for anyone out there who does feel that way. And I've seen people out there today talking about that, which is what prompted me to want to finally talk about the quality of life. I feel like it's not fair for any one of us to put that limitation on that company because they're a company. They have the right to do whatever they want. And yes, we obviously might not agree, and we have the right to voice our opinions and even our dissatisfaction. That is completely our right. But I don't think that we should say, hey, Nintendo, you can't make money somewhere else. You know, I think that we should only want them to make money somewhere else. Now, if it became a thing where they said they were abandoning gaming to do quality of life, we'd be having a totally different conversation. I'd be coming to you saying, that is bullshit, that really sucks. Nintendo is abandoning the fans and the market that created its success. And that would be unfortunate. We want them to be a gaming company, but I don't really think they're ever going to do that. I think that they firmly believe in being a gaming company first, but they can make this quality of life thing and say, hey, we can be known as Nintendo the game company and also Nintendo the health company. You know, and I don't know what that means. Maybe they start making their own energy drinks or snack bars or things like that. I mean, I think that there's a wide range of things we might end up seeing eventually from Nintendo when it comes to this health stuff. It's definitely a strange thing. But, you know, just to funnel myself back and try to wrap this up before I get caught up in another tangent, you know, we just need to let them do the thing that they need to do. And if it's as long as they don't sacrifice their gaming side and it doesn't really hurt that business, I think it can only help. They make more money from health-related products and making mobile apps, fine, because that money, I believe in Nintendo that they will take that extra revenue and that extra money and funnel it back into gaming and help make them success and help keep them afloat. Maybe those are the kind of ways that they can be successful moving forward and have their consoles sell in the, you know, I know the Wii U's only sold 10 million, but let's say their next few consoles end up selling, you know, 20, 30, 40 million, as opposed to, you know, Microsoft and Sony's selling in like the much higher numbers, the 70s and 80s. You know, Nintendo may never have a Wii type success again, but if they can keep themselves afloat as a company and still be very profitable because they have all these different branching areas that they're reaching out to create revenue, that'll make everything okay, and then we know that they can survive, you know, and do really well. And I could be wrong. Maybe they really come back and have another 100 million selling machine, and it doesn't matter if they're making money from quality of life. But it doesn't hurt. You know, if you like any one gaming company, and if Nintendo happens to be a company you like, you know me, they're my favorite company. A lot of the followers of Rule of Two Review, they're your favorite company too. And if you like that company and you want Nintendo to be successful, then hey, this isn't a bad thing, provided it doesn't distract from gaming. So the last point I'll make, and I'll wrap this up here, is we don't know if this is what Nintendo's planning to do with the quality of life, and we don't know that if they move forward with this, that it won't distract from gaming. So we'll have to wait and see, but I don't think that quality of life for mobile or theme parks or movies are going to distract from gaming. I think it's only going to help them be a better, more profitable, and successful gaming company. And, you know, like I said, people may know of Nintendo the gaming company and Nintendo the health company, and that's okay. It's not going to hinder what we get from Nintendo as gamers and as fans, and they're not trying to I don't think that it will be this way. I don't think they're going to try to force weird quality of life sleep sensors onto us gamers and into their next console. This is probably all supposed to be branded as very separate from gaming. I don't think that the Nintendo NX is going to be a thing that you're supposed to start tracking your calories in. I don't think that's what's going on at all. The Nintendo NX is going to be a gaming device. The sleep monitor is going to be just a sleep monitor device with Nintendo's name on it that they're making money off of. So, you know, this is my whole huge long diatribe on my theories of what Nintendo might be doing with the quality of life based on today's information and what I think we've kind of gleaned from them over the last couple of years, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, does any of this stuff make sense? Do you think that the quality of life stuff is going to be really great? Do you think it's going to be terrible? Do you think Doesn't really matter? Do you think that it is going to hinder gaming? You know, lots to talk about. What do you guys think? You know, thanks, of course, for tuning in. I always appreciate talking about the new random stuff. Please share your thoughts and stuff below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, this, of course, is Rob of Rule of Two Review. And I'll catch you guys next time on another video.